All right, welcome back to 4029 News on the Record. Justin Boyd is a Republican candidate for State Senate District 27 race. He will be facing Democrat Rebecca Ward in the November election. And thank you, State Representative Justin Boyd, for joining us. Currently, you represent State District 77, but you are running as for the Arkansas State Senate seat District 27. So tell us a little bit about District 27 and a little bit about yourself.
Let's start with a little bit about me.
Okay.
I've been representing House District 77, which is Southwest Fort Smith, since 2015. I was first elected in 2014. And I am a pharmacist by trade. I also have an MBA. I'm married to Lori, who is an audiologist. We have 3 daughters, Maura, Olivia, and Amelia. They're all school age and attend school. As far as District 27 goes, it is it is more or less Fort Smith plus all of Chaffee Crossing. So south of Fianna Hills, there's a line that goes from Oklahoma over to 71, and everything north of there to the river is in the district. And then basically then at Zero Street, it goes to where the new interstate is being built in Barling, and all of that down to that goes south of 71, back to the west, and in between 71 is in that district. So that's really all of Chaffee Crossing.
Now, you've been a representative for quite some time. You are running for State Senate. What do you think you can do in State Senate District 27 versus what you have been doing in the House of Representatives?
I think that's a great question. And I've effectively passed legislation. I've effectively represented my constituents. I've been able to help my constituents when they have challenges accessing government. The difference is in the Senate, you are one of 35 rather than one of 100. And on the fiscal issues, that makes sense. And I want to make sure that as Senator Pitch leaves the Senate, we have someone who has experience and knows how to navigate the legislative process and make sure that Fort Smith and Barling are adequately represented on the fiscal issues.
So talk to us about some of the fiscal issues that's affecting the district and some other concerns that District 27 may have.
So Arkansas in 2021 was the #1 inbound state. So it's a reflection of things that we're doing. So in other words, we're growing. More people are moving into this state in 2021 than we're leaving this state. And again, we were the #1 state. So I think that's a reflection of the policies that we've been passing since 2021, including the fiscal issues. So one of the things that we have to do is make sure that we have our tax rates right sized. So as we grow and we have more population, more people working, more people paying taxes, we have we need to make sure that we continue to reduce our tax rate to further encourage growth and movement to this state, and work with businesses to make sure that we're competitive on taxes. So that's the #1 thing we can do. But at the same token, we have to make sure we're adequately funding education. We have a constitutional requirement in this state to provide K through 12 education, and that has to be adequately funded. We also have to make sure that we're supporting our law enforcement appropriately, including our court systems. So there are highway infrastructure, so we got to make sure that we have a system in place that makes sure that we have safe and smooth highways. So we have good transportation infrastructure. Broadband is an issue. We've got to make sure we're working to continue to fund that. So all of the fiscal issues that you hear for the state, all of that matters in Fort Smith. We have to have the right infrastructure, we have to have the right education in place, and we have to have the right tax rate to continue growing this state.
Now, we do have a budget surplus right now, and a special session is planned to talk about what to do with some of that money. Do you think some of that money should go into education and law enforcement?
We've already made a plan for law enforcement. We did that in our last session. We made a plan to give law enforcement opportunities to have a grant and put money aside for equipment for law enforcement. I do think we have to keep working on teacher pay. That's very important. We've, in 2 sessions ago, we raised minimum teacher pay, and in this last session, we put in place a plan that required each district to have a recruitment and retention plan. And, so that is an issue. The question is really, do we need to do a teacher raise right now outside the normal process, or do we need to let the process work that we have, that make sure that, how we fund education every year. Mm-hmm. And so that process should be complete by November 1st. After the Lakeview case, we were required to make sure we have adequate educational funding, and we have a process in place that we follow. And so where the governor has said, hey, let's do this right here, right now, there's been some pushback in the legislature to say, no, we want to make sure we get that done, but we want to do it through our normal process of educational adequacy.
All right. We are running out of time for this block, but we'll be back in 2 minutes with more questions with a candidate running for State Senate District 27, Justin Boyd.